Geobyte.
Hi students, welcome to the Geobyte Diploma series. We have started the shear force diagrams and bending moment diagrams. In the last video, we discussed few problems. In this video also, let us discuss some in-depth problems on cantilever beam. Look at the diagram. The cantilever beam subjected to three loads, 2-point loads, one UDL. 2 kilonewton point load is acting at the end of the cantilever beam, and 3 kilonewton is the UDL. 3 kilonewton per meter is the UDL. That UDL is acting not only in between the 2 kilonewtons and 5 kilonewtons but also throughout the length. That point you should remember. Throughout the length, UDL is acting. Throughout the length, UDL is acting with a magnitude 3 kilonewton per meter, and 5 kilonewtons point load is acting at a distance of 2 meters from the fixture. From the fixed end, at a distance of 2 meters, 5 kilonewton point load is acting, and at 6 kilometer distance, 2 kilonewton point load is acting, and throughout the length, that is along the 6 meters length of the cantilever beam, UDL is acting with a magnitude 3 kilonewton per meter. With this information, let us construct the SFD and BMD. For that, I need to find the shear force values and bending moment values. For constructing the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram, shear force calculation part is required and bending moment calculation part also required. For that, let us mark the different points. At A, 2 kilonewton point load is acting. At B, 5 kilonewton point load is acting, and C be the fixed point. C be the fixture. Now for this, first let us find the let us have the shear force calculations. Shear force calculations. For a shear force calculation, generally downward forces are taken positive, upward forces are taken negative. Downward forces are taken positive, upward forces are taken negative, like this. Now let us have the SF calculations. I am going to find the shear force values from right to left. Now the shear force at A. Look at the point A, students. At A, how much load is acting? At point A, 2 kilonewtons point load is acting. At point A, 2 kilonewtons point load is acting vertically downwards. Vertically downward force is taken as positive. Therefore, shear force at A is plus 2 kilonewtons because it is a downward force. Now, SF at, look at the B. At B, one UDL effect is there, and one point load effect is there. For that case, I need to find the SF at just before B. For finding the SF at just before B, you need to consider only effect of UDL. Once again, For finding the shear force just before B, for finding the shear force at just before B, you need to consider only effect of UDL. For that, just before B already 2 kilonewtons point load is acting, 2 kilonewtons plus the UDL should be converted to point load, because shear force equal to algebraic sum of point loads. How do you convert the UDL to point load? By multiplying UDL with UDL distance. Here UDL is 3 kilonewton per meter and distance is 4 meters. Now look at the units, meter cancelled, finally 3 kilonewtons. So it is equal to 5 kilonewtons. I hope understood. Once again, the point load from the UDL is obtained by multiplying UDL with UDL distance. In the shear force calculations, you have to add only the point loads. It is 4 into 3, 12, 12 plus 2, 14 kilonewtons. 14 kilonewtons. Now the shear force at exactly B, already 14 kilonewtons is there, plus at B 5 kilonewtons downward force is there. Vertically downward force should be taken as positive, plus 5 kilonewtons. It is equal to 19 kilonewtons. 19 kilonewtons. Similarly, shear force at C, shear force at C, there is no point load, only effect of UDL is there between the B and C, already 19 kilonewtons. 1 minute. Already 19 kilonewtons point load is there or shear force is there. At C, for finding the shear force between the B and C, you have to convert from UDL to point load available between the B and C. Between the B and C, I already told you this UDL is acting throughout its length. Already effect of UDL on shear force found between the A and B. Then the effect of UDL in between the B and C. The effect of UDL in between the B and C should be found. For that, you multiply UDL with UDL distance. The UDL between the B and C is 3 kilonewton per meter, multiplied by UDL distance between the B and C, 2 meters. Meter cancel, finally kilonewtons. It is 6 plus 19, 25 kilonewtons. That is how you can have the shear force calculations. With this information, let us construct the shear force diagram. Project the vertical lines from the respective points. Like this. Project the thin vertical lines, not thick lines. You take a reference line. With respect to this reference line, let us mark the points C, B and A. These are already marked. The positive values should be taken above the reference line. Positive positive and negative. SF at A. What is the shear force value at A, my dear students? The shear force value at A is, look at the value, shear force at A is 2 kilonewtons. You try to mark a value 2 kilonewtons at some approximate distance in the positive side. SF at just before B, 14 kilonewtons. SF at exactly B, 19 kilonewtons. SF at exactly C, 25 kilonewtons. 25 kilonewtons. 25 kilonewtons. Now you start from A. From A to go for the load, go for the value. You know, SF at just before B and SF at B both are lying on the same line only, but effect of UDL on shear force is uniformly or linearly varying. That's why you just join the two load values like this. That is a straight line. That is the effect of UDL. Then this is the effect of point load. This is the effect of point load, and the effect of UDL. The effect of UDL between the B and C is like this. It is a straight line. Effect of UDL on shear force is linearly varying. Then close the diagram. Close the diagram. This is the shear force diagram. This is the shear force diagram. Now let us mark the boundary. This is the boundary. It's a kind of makeup. It gives good appearance. This is how the shear force diagram can be drawn after finding the shear force values at the respective points. This is the boundary. So this is the shear force diagram. This is the shear force diagram. Now come to the bending moment calculations. Come to the bending moment calculations. Bending moment calculations. Bending moment calculations. For BM calculations, you should take the clockwise moment sign representation, anti-clockwise moment sign representation. Generally, clockwise moments are negative, anti-clockwise moments are positive. Clockwise moments are negative, anti-clockwise moments are positive. Now let us have the BM values at different states. Bending moment at A. What is the bending moment at A, my dear students? Definitely bending moment at A is 0 because the distance is 0. We are calculating the bending moment values from right to left. You try to remember like this. For any cantilever beam, the bending moment at free end equal to 0. Once again, for any cantilever beam, the bending moment at free end equal to 0. Next, BM at B. For BM calculations, just before part is not required. You just count how many forces are there or how many loads are there before the point B. Count the number of loads before the B. 1 2 kilonewtons point load is acting, 1 UDL is acting. Now the bending moment means product of point load and perpendicular distance. Bending moment means product of point load and perpendicular distance. Bending moment at B is like this. Because of the 2 kilonewtons point load, one moment is developed, that is equal to 2 multiplied by 4, or point load 2 kilonewtons multiplied by distance up to B. That 2 into 4 is giving the clockwise moment or anti-clockwise moment? Tell me, is it 2 into 4 meters is giving the clockwise or anti-clockwise? Clockwise. Clockwise moments are negative. So minus 2 into minus 4, 2 into 4 is the moment due to point load. That is the moment due to point load. Now I am going to find the moment due to UDL. For getting the moment from the UDL, first you should convert from UDL to point load. How do you get the point load from the UDL? By multiplying UDL with UDL distance. Minus, it is also developing the clockwise moment. The point load for the UDL is 3 multiplied by 4. If I multiply UDL with UDL distance, I will get the point load. Assume that resultant point load is acting at the middle of the AB. From that middle point, you have to take the distance. Once again, once you get the point load from the UDL, assume that resultant point load is acting at the middle of the AB. From that middle, you have to take the distance up to B. The middle point to B distance is 2. You simplify this value for getting this is 8 minus 8, 1 minute. It is equal to minus 8 minus 24. This is equal to minus 32 kilonewton meter. That is the bending moment at B. Similarly, bending moment at C. Bending moment at C. Bending moment at the fixed end C. Listen carefully. Before the C, you just count how many loads are there. Before C, 2 point loads are there. One is 2 kilonewton, other one is 5 kilonewtons. 5 kilonewtons. Now, first let us find the bending moment due to 2 kilonewtons. So all the loads are developing clockwise moments only. Clockwise moments are negative. Minus 1 minute minus 2 into up to distance C. 2 into up to distance C is 6. This is the one moment due to point load. Minus, first I am finding the moment due to point loads. 5 kilonewton is also a point load. Minus 5 into the distance up to C is 2 meters. So the first one is the moment due to point load. The second one also moment due to point load. Then moment due to UDL is UDL is acting throughout the length, that is 6 meters. For getting the moment from the UDL, first you have to convert from UDL to point load. How do you convert the UDL to point load? By multiplying UDL with UDL distance. Here UDL is 3, UDL distance is, that UDL distance throughout the length UDL is acting, UDL distance is 6. I got the point load. By multiplying UDL with UDL distance, I am getting the point load. Assume that resultant point load is acting at the middle of the AC. Then from that middle point to the distance C is half of the 6 meters. I hope you understood. First I got the UDL. First I got the point load, not UDL. First I got the point load from the UDL by multiplying UDL with UDL distance. After getting the point load from the UDL, I assumed that the resultant point load is acting at the middle of the AC. From that middle point to the distance C is 6 by 2 equal to 3 meters. So anyhow, 1 minute, I will write it clearly. This is the point load. This is the point load for UDL. Assume that point load is acting at the middle of the 1 minute. Let me write it clearly. 1 minute point load. This is the point load for the UDL. Point load for the UDL. That point load is acting, or that point load is assumed to be acting at the middle, from that middle point to the distances up to C. It is minus 12, minus 10, minus 18, 18, 54. 54. Okay, correct, absolutely correct. It is equal to minus 22, 26, minus 76, minus 76 kilonewton meter. That is how the bending moment values can be calculated. Now let us construct the bending moment diagram. You extend these lines like this. You take a reference line, this is the C, B, A. With respect to reference line, you have to mark the sign. The positive values are generally taken above the reference line, negative values are below the reference line. Now, what is the bending moment at A, my dear students? The bending moment at A is 0. Bending moment at B is 32 kilonewton meter, and bending moment at C is 76 kilonewton meter. That is the bending moment at C. Bending moment at C is 76 kilonewton meter. Now remember, the UDL is always maintaining the bending moment diagram, or the geometric shape of the bending moment diagram with UDL is parabolic. So parabolic curve between the A and B, and between the B and C also parabolic curve. Now close the diagram. Right. So this is how the bending moment diagram can be constructed for the given cantilever beam. Now boundary marking. This is how the boundary can be marking. This is how the boundary can be marked. That is how the boundary can be marked. This is a bending moment diagram. I hope all of you understood. This is the shear force diagram. This is the bending moment diagram. So I hope all of you understood. If you need any clarifications regarding this problem, you can send a message to me. Definitely I will explain to you in line. Now let us go for the another problem. Yes, look at the next problem. A cantilever beam subjected to 2 point loads. One point load, 1 minute. One point load at the A with a magnitude 5 kilonewtons. One more point load, 1 minute. Let me draw it clearly. This is also a point load. 2 kilonewtons at B, or at a distance of 3 meters from the fixer, and 1 kilonewton per meter is the UDL for a length of 3 meters or in between the C and B. Now let us calculate the shear force values. Shear force calculations. For this, I should take downward forces positive, upward forces negative. Negative. Now let us find the shear force values from right to left. Shear force at A is equal to, at A the downward force is there, downward load is taken as positive 5 kilonewtons plus 5 kilonewtons. Similarly, shear force at B is equal to, already 5 kilonewtons is there, plus at B 2 kilonewtons is there, is equal to 7 kilonewtons. Now SF at C, directly I can go for C, because at C there is no point load. If point load is there at C, then I should consider the shear force just before C, then shear force at C. But between the B and C, only UDL is there. That's why directly I went for the shear force at C. So already 7 kilonewtons is there, plus, shear force means algebraic sum of point loads only. Algebraic sum of point loads only. You just convert from UDL to point load. From UDL to point load, how do you get it? By multiplying UDL with UDL distance. Meter cancelled. Finally, kilonewtons. 7 plus 3, 10 kilonewtons. I hope you understood. Now I am going to construct the SF diagram, shear force diagram. Let us construct the SF diagram. For that, project the reference lines like this. You take a reference line. With respect to reference line, mark the sign representation, plus, minus, and this is the A, this is the B, and this is the C. At A, 5 kilonewtons load is there. At B, 7 kilonewtons load is there. At C, 10 kilonewtons load is there. Now start from A, begin from A, start from A, go for the load, come to the next value, because this is the point load effect. Go for the value. In between B and C effect, it is a straight line. Under the UDL, it should be the shear force line is a straight line. Close the diagram. This is the shear force diagram. Then what you do? We have to go for the makeup. So boundary representation. This is how the boundary is represented. That is how the boundary is represented. I hope you are all following. You are understanding very clearly. This is the shear force diagram. Now come to the BM calculations. Bending moment calculations. So for bending moment, generally clockwise moments should be taken negative, anti-clockwise moment, anti-clockwise moment should be taken positive. Right. Now, okay. Now, what is the BM at free end of the cantilever beam? 0. For any cantilever beam, bending moment at free end equal to 0. Next, what is the bending moment at B? Just count how many loads are there. Just count how many loads are there before B. Before B, only one point load is there. That point load multiplied by distance up to B is giving the bending moment at B. That is giving clockwise moment. 5 into 4 is giving clockwise moment. Clockwise moment is negative. Minus 5 into 4, it is equal to minus 20 kilonewton meter. That is how you can find the bending moment at A. Let me write it clearly. Otherwise you may be confusing. Minus 5 into 4. Okay. Now come to the bending moment at C. Just count how many loads are there before C. Before C, 5 kilonewton point load. That 5 multiplied by distance up to C is developing one moment, minus 5 into 7, because it is clockwise moment written with negative sign. One more point load, 2 kilonewtons. That 2 multiplied by 3 is another moment due to point load. 2 into 3 plus UDL. It is also developing the clockwise moment. Clockwise moment should be taken negative. First from UDL to 1 kilonewton meter per meter. That is the UDL. Multiply UDL with UDL distance for getting the point load. Assume that resultant point load is acting at the middle. From the middle to the distance up to C, that is 1.5. 1.5. It is equal to minus 35, minus 35, minus 6, minus 4.5. Minus 4.5. It is equal to minus 41, minus 45.5. The unit is kilonewton meter. Bending moment is in kilonewton meter. With this information, let us construct the bending moment diagram. For that, you need to project the vertical lines like this. Vertical lines like this. So let me mark the reference line. This is the reference line. As I told you, you should not select the same reference line for both SFD and BMD. Above the reference line, you take the positive values. Below the reference line, negative values. A, this is the B, very good, B, and this is the C. Next, what is the BM at A? BM at A equal to 0. BM at B equal to minus 20. Minus 20. 1 minute. Minus 20. You should not. Okay. I should not write minus 20 because already I marked the minus 20 kilonewton meter, and BM at C. BM at C is how much? BM at C 45.5. It is also in kilonewton meter because it is bending moment. Now in between the, look at the diagram. Okay, I will in between the A and B, only point load is there. Point load effect on bending moment diagram is maintaining the straight line variation. But between the B and C, UDL is there. The UDL is causing for the parabolic variation in the bending moment diagram. Parabolic variation, 1 minute. Parabolic variation in the bending moment diagram. So in between the A and B, since point load effect is there, the bending moment diagram is a straight line. But between the B and C, UDL is there. That UDL is causing for parabolic variation in the bending moment diagram. So now let us close it. let us close it. We are closing the diagram. Then let us have the makeup. Let us have the makeup like this. Let us enlarge it. So this is the boundary. That makeup means here boundary. Should respect the boundary also. That's why I am applying some design, right? This is the bending moment diagram. So this is the bending moment diagram. Dear students, I hope all of you understood the cantilever beam, because I am closing the cantilever beams with this diagram or with this problem. In the previous video, we have discussed some or two simple cantilever beams. In this video, some in-depth cantilever beams discussed with two problems. I hope all of you understood. If you need any clarifications regarding this cantilever beam, please send a message to me. Definitely, I will explain to you in online. So far, we discussed the simple stresses and strains as a first unit, centroid and moment of inertia as a second unit, and we have been discussing the third unit as a shear force and bending moment diagrams. In the next video, I will explain to you with a simply supported beam. In the next video, I will start the simply supported beam. So please subscribe it. Please inform to your friends also. The whole subject, whole strength of material at the diploma level is available in our videos. Please encourage us. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching these videos. Thank you very much.
Geobyte.